The rosary moves one bead at a time. A woman is sitting outside a hospital room with her coat folded across her lap. A doctor has just left the room. The words were careful. There is not much more they can do. For a while, the woman looks at the wall across from her. Then her thumb moves to the next bead. Please help me. Please be with me. Please give me strength. The words arrive like a sequence. Thumb, bead, breath, sentence. The woman is not trying to prove anything to herself. She's trying to stay inside the next minute without being swallowed by it. This is one of the first things to notice about rituals. It can begin working before the belief behind it has to explain itself, before anyone asks whether the prayer is heard, whether there is someone on the other side of the words, or whether the universe contains the presence being addressed. The ritual is already doing something. It gives the stress somewhere to go. The feeling is still there, but it is no longer spreading through the body without direction. It has a movement now. Thumb, bead, breath, sentence. In that state, ritual gives the person a sequence. The body does not need to solve the whole situation at once. It only has to follow the next movement, the next breath, the next word. The ritual does not reverse the event. It does not change the diagnosis, bring back the dead, or remove the uncertainty. It gives the person a way to pass through the first wave without having to invent a response from nothing. People often talk about religion as if its first question is whether its claims are true. That matters, but it's not always the first question the grieving person is living inside. The first question may be much smaller and much more immediate. How do I get through this hour? How do I stand in this room? How do I keep breathing when the world seems to be falling apart? During these moments, ritual gives the person something to do when the thinking is too scattered to help. The action is small enough to perform and familiar enough not to require invention. That matters because under the stress, novelty can become another burden. A person who is overwhelmed does not usually need someone to explain the pain to them. They need a reachable pattern. A prayer, for example, can provide that pattern. So can a funeral service where everyone already knows when to stand, when to sit, and when to be silent. In both cases, ritual gives the mind and body something stable to follow when the situation itself feels unstable. Religious ritual has a partial parallel with physical exertion. Another person in a similar state might go for a run or lift heavy weights. The movement does not solve the loss directly, it gives the body a way to carry some of the pressure. Breath, effort, rhythm, and repetition can change the state from which the person has to face the same fact. Religious ritual can do something similar. It repeats. It narrows attention, it gives emotional pressure somewhere to go. But it usually adds another layer. Exercise may calm the body without explaining the pain. Religious ritual often calms the body while also telling the mind what it means. The person praying after bad news is not only repeating words. They may feel watched over, tested, or guided. The situation becomes less empty. The moment becomes less random. The pain is no longer just a fact that landed on them. It becomes pain carried in the presence of something larger. At this point, ritual and belief starts to reinforce each other. The person prays, and after a while they feel steadier. The steadiness is real, their breathing slows, their thoughts become less scattered. They can sit down, call someone, make tea, go to the hospital, or simply get through the next 10 minutes. The ritual has changed what they can do. The confusion begins when that change is treated as proof. Because the person feels steadier, the belief can begin to feel more real. The relief seems to point back towards the thing believed. If praying calmed me, maybe someone heard me. If the words helped me get through the moment, maybe the words describe how reality is structured. If I felt held, Maybe I was held by the being I was praying to. That movement is understandable, but it mixes two different things. A ritual can regulate a person without confirming the whole worldview around it. A sentence can help someone endure pain without becoming evidence that the sentence is true. A practice can be psychologically effective without earning authority over reality. That distinction is easy to state from the outside. It is harder to maintain while grieving. Relief does not feel like neutral information. It feels like help. The thing that helps becomes trusted. The trusted thing becomes protected. And after enough repetition, the ritual no longer feels like one practice amongst others. It feels like the practice that helped the person regain stability. This is why people sometimes resist having a ritual or belief questioned. The challenge does not only touch an idea, it touches the practice that helped them remain functional. If prayer helps someone through illness, loneliness, guilt, or loss, then asking whether prayer proves anything may feel like the question is ignoring what the practice did for them. The person may hear the question as a dismissal of the moment the practice helped them get through. That does not make the belief true. It means the function is personally tied to the experience. Religious ritual has the same basic shape as other forms of regulation, with a larger meaning structure attached. It does not only regulate mood, it can organize memory, guilt, hope, grief, belonging, and even death. It gives people a repeated way to return to pain through a familiar form. Think of a funeral. People arrive in clothes they may not wear often. They sit in rows, they hear words that have been said for generations. Someone reads, someone sings, there's a silence, a procession, a gesture. Nobody in the room needs the ritual to erase the death. The person is still gone. The absence is still there, but the ritual gives the absence a public shape. It tells people when to speak and when not to. It lets grief move through a shared form instead of leaving every person to invent a response alone. Some modern settings treat freedom as the absence of form. We imagine that if a response is authentic, it should come directly from inside us. But in moments of shock or grief, a person may not have a response ready. The person may be too shocked to speak honestly, too tired to choose well, or too flooded to know what they need. A ritual gives them an available form until their own words return. This helps explain why ritual survives even when belief weakens. It can keep working at the layer beneath argument. Some people still light candles, though they are no longer sure who receives the prayer. Some attend service because the rhythm of the place steadies them. Some repeat lines from childhood in moments of fear, not because every theological question has been settled, but because the words are connected to safety, memory, and continuity. This also explains why leaving religion can create more than a belief gap. It can create a practice gap. A person may stop believing in the metaphysics and still not know what to do with grief, guilt, gratitude, apology, fear, or death. They may know what they no longer believe, but not yet have a replacement ritual for the moments when explanation is not enough. That gap matters because a conclusion tells us what we think is true. A ritual tells us what to do when knowing what is true does not steady the person. You can know the medical facts and still need a way to sit beside the hospital bed. You can believe death is final and still need repeated form for remembering the dead. This is one place where secular life can lack shared forms. It may offer accurate explanations while leaving people alone with the emotional handling of those explanations. It may free people from the inherited metaphysics without replacing the shared practices that help people handle grief, fear, gratitude, and moral repair. So when we look at religious ritual, the useful question is not only, is that belief accurate? It is also, what is this practice helping the person do? Is it helping them to sit with pain? To return to breath? Is it turning disorder into a sequence they can follow? A ritual can calm the mind without proving the world behind the ritual. The calm is real, the steadiness is real, the person's ability to continue is real. But the reality of the relief does not automatically settle the reality of the explanation attached to it. This is difficult because in lived experience, those things arrive together. The prayer calms, the words feel true, the body settles, the belief deepens. Nobody experiences that as a clean diagram. They experience it as help. Over time, help can take on sacred authority. The useful question, though, is not whether people need ritual. They do. The more precise question is what happens when a practice that helps people handle pain begins to set the boundary for what counts as true. And if we remove the old rituals, what forms do we build so that people are not left with accurate explanations and no shared way to handle fear?